as long as I am able to draw breath on this earth, I will always have a problem with you white saviors, because you bring nothing to society other than just complaining about how white you are. You spent the past 4 years being told by these black activists that you're nothing but a racist, you'll always be a bigot, and even if you do help out, if you put BLM in your bio, if you go to a protest, if you stand up and speak about all these different black issues, you will still be a problem. Why? Because you're white, and you can't seem to grasp that reality, and you continue to jump through hoops to try to prove to everybody that you're not a racist. And when you do jump through these hoops, you always say things that in your mind, and to the idiots who agree with you in their minds, you think is the right thing to say, but it's actually quite disrespectful to the black people who you claim to care about. In walks a tweet from somebody named Heather that says, there are many math education practices that we white folk don't see as racist or supremacist because they are so ingrained in our background and experiences, and we have been the ones to benefit from them. Thanks to @Jason_2 for shining a light on these. And she has a picture of a triangle, and the title is called White Supremacy and Math Education. And there's overt white supremacy, you know, the obvious things that exist in math, and then there's the covert white supremacy. That's all the sneaky things that take place in a math class that you don't really pay attention to because it's so ingrained in the white people, and the black people just miss it all the time. So let's go over the overt white supremacy. Segregated classes. I think we can all agree nobody should be segregated in any capacity based on skin color, even though there are black people out there that are perfectly fine with segregating classrooms because they feel as though white people are always going to be the problem.
The school district here has looked into these allegations and says it has taken action. Still, parent Kyla Posey says she can't believe a principal thought separating students according to race was a good idea.
We've lost sleep trying to figure out, like, why would a person do this?
Kyla Posey says she was stunned when she learned about classes segregated by race at Mary Lynn Elementary last year. A practice she says was put in place and condoned by Principal Sharon Briscoe. Principal Sharon Briscoe. Principal Sharon Briscoe. Principal Sharon Briscoe.
First, it was just disbelief that I was having this conversation in 2020 with a person that looks just like me, a black woman. It's segregating classrooms. You cannot segregate classrooms. You can't do it.
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 say that you cannot treat one group of people differently based upon race, and that is what is going on at Mary Lynn.
The N-word, obviously, nobody should be saying any racial slurs. Racist jokes, jokes are subjective. White people make them, black people make them, Mexicans make them, gays make them, straight people make them, transgenders make them. I don't really see how we're going to start policing jokes, but okay, I could kind of agree with that because maybe somebody could be offended by it, but not really going to be the joke police. Racist word problems. In my long history of being around white people in school, have never seen a racist word problem. I've seen Johnny had 5 apples, had 2 taken away, how many you got left? And the answer is always going to be 33. I have never once in my lifetime seen anybody give me a book with a racist word problem. But that's all the obvious white supremacy in math. It's time to look at the secret math problems out there and all the issues that have white supremacy in them that I, as a black man, am too stupid to see. Tracking and streaming. Okay, I don't really see how that is anything related to white supremacy. Racial hierarchy in mathematics. I don't really get that because when it comes to math, there's calculus, geometry, algebra, algebra 2. I don't really see the hierarchy in that. Just stick to math. I don't really see how that is anything regarding white supremacy. Dismissing alternative algorithms. I don't even know what that means because I'm not really a math whiz myself. Standardized testing. That would mean everybody in the school is either dumb or we're all falling for white supremacy because the LEAP test exists, various ACT testing exists, the ACT exists, getting into college and doing all these things to make sure you're in college exists. I don't see how that has anything to do with white supremacy, especially when you have these people who talk about how we have to get black kids in college. It's cool to get them in college, but you also got to talk about the dropout rate because they went to a college that exceeded their expectations. Special education processes. I don't really see how there's anything wrong with special education, whether if it's for the special eds kids or if there's extra training going into a group of people that want to get better in school. I did it because I was a little bit dumb, and I ended up taking advantage of that and ended up being in honors classes for about a month because honors really wasn't for your boy. Deficient thinking, I don't really see the problem with thinking. Eurocentric math curriculum, okay, don't really see how that's covert white supremacy. I don't see color in my math class, that's really not white supremacy, it's just somebody focusing on the math. Assuming math is neutral, math is always going to be neutral, it's just numbers. Figure out how to solve the problem. There is nothing obvious on one side or the other that would make it something that's hidden white supremacy. And the entire reason this video is being made, you saw it in the thumbnail, props to radio for making that for me. 2 + 2 = 4. I'm sorry, but on what planet is this hidden white supremacy? On what planet would I, as a black person in the year 2022, having seen the history of all my marginalized people who fought to get me in school so that I could sit next to white people and cheat off of them to pass my test, how in the ever-loving fuck is 2 + 2 = 4 white supremacy? And do you think for a moment that anybody who sees this and agrees with this will say, well, actually, Leon, when you consider there's actual possibilities that this is rooted in a white supremacy? You know what that's telling me? That's telling me you're looking at me and thinking that I'm dumb and thinking that I can't figure out math. Now, while I will agree math is hard, I will not sit here and say whiteness is rooted in any form of math problem. If you're gonna try to make an issue out of something, don't make it a problem where you start viewing black people as dumbasses who can't figure out a math problem. I'm sorry to ruin your white savior activity, but 2 + 2 = 4 is not hidden white supremacy. Math being neutral is not white supremacy. You had some points with the overt, but once you got to the hidden things, you lost me, because it makes me feel as if you're viewing a bunch of black people in school as too fucking stupid to figure out everything, so you gotta make it easy for everybody. And if that's the game, cool, at least have the balls to admit it and not try to have this thing where, oh, well, we're so ingrained in all this white supremacy that it's hard for us to understand that these black kids are having a harder time figuring it out. It's 2 + 2 = 4. It's 3 × 3 = 9. It's 12 + 12 = 100 dildos. It's not that hard. It's not anything racial, and it's just a bunch of people making a mountain out of a molehill. But what do I know? I'm just a disenfranchised, marginalized black person that gets hunted by the police all the time. Obviously, I need the help of white people to exist in America. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel. I'm somebody who provides Monday through Friday stupidity from people who think they're saving the world when in reality, they're just making everybody else dumber. Oh, and if you're interested on watching me live ramble about all these weird things, I'm currently on Twitch right now reading about a bisexual woman not knowing how to date straight men, or any men for that matter, Don Lemon getting schooled on reparations, and a dude promoting the kids on TikTok how they can go on a website and get letters that will approve them to get transition surgery. Follow me on Twitch, now you can leave. Goodbye.